Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Chimera's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So I have watched an incalculable amount of hours of One Piece. I think I'm somewhere around episode 1000 or so. So yeah, I mean, I am a big fan. There are definitely much bigger fans of One Piece than I am, but I am so excited to share this episode with you because on this episode, it is the One Piece episode. That's right, we've got some custom commanders inspired by One Piece to show off. These designs come from some of the amazing members over at Custom Dragon Highlander. And if you want to join their awesome Discord, make sure you check out that link in the description below. Their community is dedicated to designing, creating, playtesting, and voting on custom commanders. So the designs on this episode are the best of the best, the cream of the crop, as voted on by their community. So a massive thank you to their community for designing and sharing these cards. And a big thank you to Alno for putting this all together, and Sir Tiff for helping out with the results. And now, of course, with all that said, let's jump into it. So, coming in at 10th place, designed by Malexbo, we've got Nami, Cunning Cartographer. Nami is a 3/4 human pirate that costs 2 blue, red, and has, whenever you attack a player, exile the top card of that player's library. If it's a land card, you may put that card onto the battlefield tapped under your control, otherwise create a tapped treasure token. And by paying XX blue, red, as you cast your next creature spell of mana value X this turn, it gains Storm. And here's what Malexbo had to say about the card. When I picked this character to base a card around, I had one thought that wouldn't leave my head. Is it landfall? Nami wants to map the world, right? So I figured that the best way to have that happen is to snatch them off the top of your opponent's stacks when you attack them, or bring back a treasure as a consolation prize. With all this spare mana you'll have, you can do your classic big mana plays if you'd like, or use Nami's Storm Granting ability. In hindsight, this card should have cost a lot more, 5 at minimum, 6 or 7 if we're feeling safe. No matter what you flip off the top, you'll always have a mana boost for your next turn. Well, Malexbo, I think this is a fantastic design. I absolutely love the flavor of this card in the way that the abilities play with each other. And yeah, granting a creature spell Storm is quite spicy, quite powerful, and something you can do a lot of exciting things with. So yeah, a great design, Malexbo, and again, congratulations on your 10th place finish. But now let's move on to number 9, designed by Dr. Peace. We've got Konjuro, Traitorous Painter, a 2/4 human shaman that costs blue, black, red, and says, when it enters the battlefield, each opponent mills 5 cards. Pay 2, tap, exile target creature card from the opponent's graveyard, create a token that's a copy of the exiled creature, except it's an illusionist with other types, and it has Decayed and Haste. And here's what Dr. Peace had to say about the card. Konjuro is a Grixis mill commander focused around trying to get cards in your opponent's graveyards in order to take them for yourself. I would build this deck focusing on mill, using cards like Ruin Crab, Fractured Sandy, and Lord Xander to get some mill, and cards like Geth, Lord of the Vault to reanimate to work alongside Konjuro. The inspiration for the card is I wanted to combine theft and mill to the more salty playstyles for a character not a lot of people like in the manga. The inspiration within One Piece came from, well, if you've read, you can probably figure it out. Well, Dr. Peace, I really like this design, a very exciting commander, one that pairs really well with its ETB and, of course, its ability, which is quite spicy and can become quite powerful. Like you mentioned, there are a ton of great ways to mill in these colors and other great ways to take advantage of creatures in graveyards too. So yeah, a great design for a commander, and one that I'd be very excited to build around. Next up, though, let's move on to number 8. From Lochoi, we've got Yamato Odin Aspirant, a 3/2 human demon samurai that costs 1 red, white, and has, whenever you cast an instant spell with mana value 4 or greater, you may pay Boros. When you do, Yamato deals X damage divided among any number of targets or X the number of instant cards you own in exile. Until end of turn, creatures dealt damage this way can attack or block. Exile that spell as it resolves. And Lochoy had this to say about the design. One Piece isn't something I know well, but Yamato interested me as a character. I feel that the character is represented well in the card. Yamato Odin Aspirant is a Boros instant speed control card that looks to amass large amounts of mana and use mana value 4+ instants with his ability to remove problematic creatures, clear the way for anyone's attackers, and make sure your opponents can't get to you in combat. It's an interesting direction for a Boros commander and makes use of some less played expensive instants, as well as letting you play plenty of Graveyard Exile to fuel Yamato. Well, Lochoy, I really like this design, and yeah, a Boros commander focusing on mana value 4 or greater instants, yeah, that is quite spicy. Yeah, like you mentioned, mana ramp would definitely be a high priority, but once you are set up properly, you can do some really cool things with this one. So yeah, overall, a fantastic design. Thank you again, Lochoy. Next up, though, we've got number 7 from Lost Saint with Black Leg Sanji. Black Leg Sanji is a 4/4 human pirate with trample and haste that costs 2 red-green, and when it attacks, you create, of course, a food token. And by sacrificing 3 food tokens, you get 2+1 counters on each creature you control. And Lost Saint had this to say about the design. This commander's effects were specifically inspired by Sanji's way of life in the hormone soup with sea pork that he makes to give strength and vitality to anyone who drinks it. I would build the deck around a go-wide strategy that focuses on +1/+1 counters with a sub-theme of creating food tokens. Cards like Witch's Oven, Tireless Provisioner, and Champion of Lambholt would be synergistic cards in this deck. Well, Lost Saint, I absolutely love the flavor of Sanji, and yeah, food tokens definitely need to be a part of this commander, and I love the way that you utilize them with it. Getting some extra attacks in could definitely help out with this one, as well as, well, of course, yeah, plenty of other food token cards. You can make a massive army in absolutely no time, massively huge, and yeah, I really like this design. So again, thank you again, Lost Saint, and congratulations on your 7th place finish. But now it's time for us to move on to number 6 from Shosh Bear with Rayleigh Dark King, a 4/4 human pirate that costs 2 white/black and says, whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it isn't being declared as an attacker, put a +1 counter on a creature you control, and whenever a creature blocks Rayleigh Dark King, tap it, it gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And Shoshbear had this to say about the design. Rayleigh Dark King was inspired by Verity Circle, which I thought was very similar to Conqueror Haki. And his ability to tap down his opponent's creatures and debuff them when they block shows his advanced use of Conqueror Haki and his strength as former deputy captain of the Roger Pirates. His ability to buff his teammates was my way of showing how he's a great teacher as he taught Luffy Haki. If I'd make a Rayleigh deck, I would include many +1 counter synergy cards, including the Ozlith and stuff from Strixhaven that cares about +1 counters. I would then include creatures that can tap down opponent creatures and swing with large creatures I buff for the game. Well, Shosh Bear, you definitely nailed the flavor of Rayleigh, and yeah, a very exciting card to build around, one that is quite unique, and I can see a lot of exciting plays with it, focusing on, yeah, tapping down your opponent's creatures, making your creatures more massive, and yeah, having your Rayleigh be very, very difficult, if not impossible to block in many scenarios. There are a lot of great +1 counter synergies like you mentioned, and yeah, I really think that you nailed this design, so again, congratulations on your 6th place finish, Shosh Bear. Next up, though, let's move on to number 5. From Boros, we've got Jinbei, First Son of the Sea. Jinbei is a 2/7 shark human monk that costs 2 blue, red, white that says, discard a card, Jinbei gains indestructible and gets +X/-X until end of turn, Rex the discarded card's mana value. And whenever Jinbei deals combat to a creature, return any number of target creatures with total mana less than or equal to the damage dealt, this way to their owner's hands. Then it deals damage to any target equal to Jinbei's toughness. And here's what Boros had to say about this design. I didn't know much about One Piece going into this challenge, but I really love Jinbei's style and abilities. I tried to build a card around his near indestructibility shown in the show, as well as his mastery of Fishman Karate. While the obvious build for Jinbei is Voltron, there are some fun synergies to be found in Madness Flashback synergies, Power Toughness Matters, non-combat damage burn strategies, and maybe Shark Tribal? Blocking Jinbei will always be a mind game, which is always a fun way to play a multiplayer game like EDH. Overall, I expect Jinbei would roar onto the battlefield, and if not handled, wreck your opponent's boards in just a few turns. Well, Boros, I definitely agree that Jinbei, like in the show, will be wrecking his foes in no time at all. There are definitely a lot of exciting directions that you can take this commander like you mentioned, and yeah, Jinbei of course can pack quite the punch if you decide to go Voltron. Yeah, you can quite easily, once you're set up properly, one-shot an opponent with this kind of a commander. A very exciting and inspiring design. Thank you again, Boros, and again, congratulations on your 5th place finish. But now let's move on to number 4. Designed by Xylo the Wolfbane, we've got Miss All Sunday, Waiting for Death / Nico Robin, Light of the Revolution. Miss All Sunday is a 2/3 human rogue with vigilance that costs 1 white/black and says, whenever Miss All Sunday deals damage, exile target card from a graveyard with a history counter on it. If Miss All Sunday went to your graveyard from anywhere and wasn't sacrificed, you may sacrifice a legendary creature. If you do, exile Miss All Sunday and return to the battlefield transformed. The transformed side is Nico Robin, a 4/6 human pirate with vigilance that says, whenever Nico Robin deals damage, exile up to that many cards from any number of graveyards with history counters on them. And by paying red, white, black tap, you may cast cards with history counters on them this turn, and may spend mana to cast them as though it were mana of any color. And this is what Xylo the Wolfbane had to say. Miss All Sunday, the second in command of the Baroque works in secret to uncover the history of the world, refusing to allow any near her. Yet when a hero dies valiantly to save her, she reveals herself to be a trustworthy crewmate as Nico Robin, pursuing her dream without fear and uncovering history. Plunge into the history of the tables decks and uncover their most powerful secrets to harness for yourself and your crew with this Mardu Graveyard Exile Theft Commander. The Factor Exile trigger goes off on any damage, allows for a wide range of deck builds, from pinging things with Thornbite Staff or similar effects to going full Voltron to steal huge swaths of enemy graveyards or reusing your own. Well, Xylo the Wolfbane, I think this is a very unique design, a very unique transform trigger, and yeah, I really like the synergy of those graveyard counters and the flavor behind them. So there's a lot of exciting directions that you can take this commander, and yeah, again, congratulations on your 4th place finish, Xylo the Wolfbane. Next up, though, we've got number 3 from Genji's Tights. We've got Gecko Moria, Master of Shadows, a 4/4 zombie pirate that costs 3 blue/black that says, whenever one or more non-token attacking creatures you both own and control die, gain control of target creature. It becomes a zombie to shoot other types. This ability triggers only once each turn. And by paying X blue/black tap, exile target zombie you control with mana value X for as long as that card remains exiled. Gecko Moria has all its activated abilities. And this is what Genji's Tights had to say about the card. I've never actually seen One Piece myself, so making this card I had to talk to a lot of my friends about characters and abilities in the show, and none of them play Magic, so I just had to kind of go with my gut on how they would transition to balanced, fun abilities. A couple of examples that I would definitely have to put in this deck would be some basic protection for the commander, untappers, sack outlets to sacrifice during combat, and some zombie tribal staples. Well, Genji's Tights, I definitely agree, and I really like the design of this one. Yeah, definitely having some fantastic sacrifice outlets to instant speed, free sacrifice one of your attacking creatures to gain control of a creature and turn into a zombie, to then maybe utilize that zombie with your commander. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting synergies right here, and a lot of exciting things that you can do with a build around this unique commander. And again, yeah, just a fantastic design. Congratulations, Genji's Tights, on your 3rd place finish. But now it's time for us to move on to number 2. From Ashuo, we've got Zorro Zora, Pirate Hunter, a 3/3 human pirate samurai with vigilance that costs 1 white and a red, and says equip abilities you activate cost 3 less to activate. On top of that, you may cast equipment spells as though they had flash. You may activate equip abilities anytime you could cast an instant only during combat. And also, Zorro Zora has double strike and menace as long as 3 more equipment are attached to it. And this is what Ashimo had to say about the design. As for the deck, Zorro fits fairly well into any Boros Voltron deck and a pretty strong support in my opinion for established Voltron bodies, since most of his abilities apply generally, with only the 3-sword style requiring himself to have equipment. As far as inspiration goes, I'm not a huge One Piece fan. I watched a bit when I was younger, but never all that much, so I've been going off of friends telling me the lore and vague memories. I've just been a big fan of Mitch's challenges for a while, and when my friend, a big One Piece fan, decided to make a submission, I thought I'd try too. In the end, for our first cards, I think we did pretty well. Well, Ashimo, I would definitely agree. This is a fantastic design, and I absolutely love the flavor of that 3-sword style, having 3 equipment, which of course is going to be very easy to get on this commander because, yeah, that equip abilities you activate cost 3 less is a fantastic effect to have on this one. And yeah, all of the different synergies of equipment work incredibly well with this, and I absolutely love the design. Again, a massive thank you to Ashimo, and congratulations again on your 2nd place finish. And coming in at number 1 by Ben.Hacks, we've got Trafalgar Law Death Surgeon, a 1/4 human pirate with vigilance that costs 2 blue, black, and has pay X, tap, exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a permanent type, and have mana value X or less. And whenever Trafalgar Law attacks, each opponent reveals the top card of their library. Trafalgar Law gets +X, +0 until end of turn. Rex is the greatest mana value among cards revealed this way. And this is what Ben.Hacks had to say about the design. Law is the captain of the Heart Pirates and user of the Op no Mi. He has the ability to switch the position of 2 things in a radius around him, whether it be people, organs, weapons, or even souls. Trafalgar Law Death Surgeon can use this ability to mess with your opponent's combo pieces, take their best creatures, or even give them negative effects, such as Demonic Pact or Abyssal Persecutor. Law also has very strong observation hockey and is able to damage his enemies internally, which is referenced in his 2nd ability. Well, Ben.Hacks, I absolutely love the flavor of this card, and yeah, Shambles is quite spicy for a mechanic. I absolutely love it. Being able to utilize this again, like you mentioned, to switch, well, not so good of a card like, Demonic Pact, which can lose your opponent the game, for a card that can benefit you. Yeah, I absolutely love that kind of spicy synergy. Overall, an incredible card, one that can go a couple of different directions, and yeah, just have a really fun time playing. So again, congratulations on your 1st place finish, Ben.Hacks. And again, a massive thank you to everyone over at Custom Dragon Highlander. I absolutely love the designs. And yeah, again, a big thank you to Alano for putting all this together, and Sir Tiff for sending over the results. And again, a reminder, if you are interested in joining this amazing community, make sure you check out the Discord link in the description below. And with that, today's episode is coming to a close. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.